Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Baka podcast.
Baka. It's amazing how every time you open your mouth, you prove you're an idiot.
Hello, everybody. It's time for a minisode of Baka. You know what you clicked on. You know what you're here for. You don't want to talk about an anime that we watch every 2 weeks. You want to talk about random stuff that comes off the top of our head because that's the good stuff. That's why I'm here. That's why you're here. You probably have pressed stop by now as you realize, wait, they're not going to talk about Cowboy Bebop. I'm out. But for those who have stayed, you're in for a special treat. This is Baka, like I said, and we are talking about anime sources, stuff that becomes an anime, whether it be books or movies or video games. And to do that, I need the help of my co-host. And first off, we have the One Piece to my manga, Jeremy. How's it going, man?
It's going great. I've been watching some more of Actually, I haven't. Never mind. This is a mini-sode.
You're still thinking about No Life, right?
How did you read my mind?
Well, because you said it had fan service last week, and that means that's all you've thought about since.
That's right. No Game, No Life was awesome. If you haven't seen it, you need to go watch it. It was really good.
Did you fully watch?
I watched the whole thing right alongside Drifters.
How long was it?
Wow. 12 episodes.
Oh.
Yep. And it is ready to go for another season. And I will watch the next season.
I'm probably going to have to check that out on your recommendation.
You need to.
Let's also introduce my other co-host. You guys know. He is the hotiful boyfriend to my video games. Cuckoo, Jason, what's up?
Just been having a blast with my two cohorts. Well, more specifically, Jeremy. Enjoys company a lot.
You can try to defend me, but my heart is dead, so whatever.
Well, a true fact, which I guess that would constitute fact.
The best kind.
Right, my wife will tell, she'll say something that might offend me, and then I might say something like, "Oh, I'm hurt," and she's like, "Oh, did I hurt your feeling?"
You only have one left over.
Right.
That's it.
Just the one.
You should be ashamed you're letting your wife make the dad jokes for you.
Yeah.
Which my favorite type of jokes, by the way, because of how really dumb they usually are.
Yes.
And watching my kids' eyes roll is one of the few joys of parenthood that you really can grasp and hold on to.
See, dad jokes were designed with a purpose. Dads are smarter than you think.
See, okay, my kids do the groan, oh my gosh, I can't believe you said that, whenever I make my dad jokes. And I'm very good at them, guys.
Oh, I believe it.
But now they watch this YouTube channel where this person, all they do is just make dad jokes. So I'm like, that's my job, guys. Turn off YouTube.
That's my material.
That's a YouTube channel? Oh my God.
Seriously. And that's all she does. I try not to laugh because I don't want to inspire them. I started watching Legion. That show's awesome. That is the story of a mutant with the ability to warp reality with his powers that he can't control. And he's the son of Charles Xavier in the comics. And they're able to take an X-Men story and give it horror elements that remind me of The Shining and be super creepy. We talked about horror in our last minisode, and there's just some creepy scenes. Like there's a fat, yellow-eyed monster man that's haunting him, and sometimes he'll just be in the back of scenes. Suddenly, you didn't notice he was there. He's behind a bush or something, and it's just so cool.
Now, isn't April from Parks and Recs in there? I don't know her real name right now.
Yeah, Audrey Plaza is from Parks and Rec, is in that. She plays his drug addict friend, and she's doing awesome. The characters and the actors are just awesome.
That's great.
I didn't
That is
think
pretty great.
when I heard about the show, I was like, how are you gonna make a guy with that much power interesting? You know, in comic books, he made the Age of Apocalypse just with his mind, so he was kind of more of a villain. And I was like, how do you build a show on that? Well, you make him think he's schizophrenic and have him trying to grope with reality, but you don't know if what the people who are helping him are real or he made them.
Huh.
It's very mind
That is
twisty.
really cool.
So it's like someone took the Matrix, the X-Men, and the Shining and mixed them into a bowl and made a show. And it's very
That sounds amazing.
It does.
great.
Is it all out right now, or did you wait for it?
The final episode is this week.
Mm.
It actually might be. Actually, it will be out by the time this minisode comes out.
I'm gonna have to pick that up.
Yeah, me too.
Definitely good. Okay, let's move on to our subject. Like I said, this is about anime sources. Jason, you came up with this, so why don't you kind of get us rolling?
Sure. I was thinking about this the other day, how there seems to be this concept that only good anime can be created off of like mangas or light novels. And we tend to see a lot of that lately. I noticed that a lot of the stuff that we've been watching throughout this channel has either been one of those two, like a light novel or a manga of some kind. And not to say that that's a terrible thing, but I was wondering, like, what do you guys are you guys, for one, aware of the source material of an anime when you watch it? And then B, because of said source material, does it change your leaning of how you might like it? And then at the end of said anime, does it line up with your expectations? Like for me, I never really considered it to be an important thing. I watched a really interesting YouTube video that kind of explored that idea. And I'm noticing, like, as I look up a lot of my really favorite anime, they're all mangas.
Yeah.
They're all source material mangas. And so, like, if I had to take a stance, I guess my favorite source material for an anime would definitely be mangas.
Actually, that's really interesting. I looked at all of our episodes that we've done, and I tallied up which ones were from mangas or light novels. Really, which ones were from mangas. If they came from mangas, and if they had light novels or web comics, they also turned into mangas. And fully 2/3, 10 of our shows are from mangas, and they are for Jason and I. They are the ones we like the most, according to the scores we've given. For Troy, they're actually less liked. You like the ones that are not from manga, according to our data. So I thought that was really interesting to find out. So
I'm loving the level of nerd we are achieving right now. It is pure and sweet, and I don't want to stop you.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
So yeah, this to me was very interesting. I noticed that the only anime that Jason gave a 1 to, of course, Kisniver, is not from a manga.
Interesting.
The anime that I gave two of them, Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress and Kisniver, are not from mangas. So it seems to be recurring. So I was trying to think of, why do I like anime that are from mangas? What is it about that I like? And I think it's because generally the story is very developed in a manga by the time they go to begin producing it as an anime. So they have something complex enough that they've already ironed out some of the kinks in the process of making the manga, usually, I think. Also, just the fact that a manga, usually, if they do it well, it means that they can take a very a good story and make it really long. And I like long stories. So like ReZero and some of the others that I would like to see them span over many, many seasons. I think that when they have a manga that does that, you can expect it. There are some problems with when they come from mangas, finding out about that. But I'll mention that in a little bit about like what I don't like about them.
So what about you, Troy? Did you do any like discovery of what might be something that you, or your source material, your favorite source material?
No. No, I did put a lot of thought into this. When I find out what the source material is, it's almost always afterwards. I'll finish an anime and I'll have theories or questions, or I just want to know more details about a character. And I'll go like onto a Wikipedia or onto a forum and start researching it. And then usually to get that information, I have to find where the anime came from, because that's where the information is. In the manga, they show this backstory. In the light novel, they have a story about this happening, and so that would explain why the character was acting that way. So that happens to me a lot, and that's when I start thinking about the source material. I would say what I like most to be seen turned into an anime is video games, specifically visual novels. Steins Gate is a great example of that. It's a visual novel, and I don't have time to play it. I don't have time to sit through all that dialogue, and I don't have time to play all the different endings and trying to figure out which one is canon. So when they take that and they turn it a great concept, and a lot of visual novels have great anime concepts in them. So when they turn it into an anime and I can just get the one continuity story and I get to meet all these characters and I can ingest it in that way, that makes me very happy, and I think that might be preferred. And according with that data, I can see me liking the original stuff, just because there's problems with mangas that we're going to talk about, and also I like the idea of just something original. Mm-hmm. Like, I have this idea, and this is the first draft of it, and it's raw and not refined, and I think I have an appreciation for that.
Mm-hmm. I should mention too that the difference, I mean, we've only done 15 episodes really when it comes to anime, and it's not that vast. So for you, Troy, it was an average score of 3.8 when it's not from a manga, whereas for Jason and I, respectively, it was 3.4 and 3.2. So it's not a huge difference.
There's an accountant out there somewhere who's marking this as his favorite episode.
So it's not a huge difference, but I would say that one of the things I don't like when I find out that it's from a manga, and I try not to find out until the show is over, just like you, is then I start to see that where they've deviated from the manga. And that's one of the things that I have a hard time with. Sometimes I don't mind it. Sometimes I hate it, because if they did something better in the manga, I'll always resent the anime. It's hard for me to agree with that. Yeah, it's hard for me to think, well, this is a different universe and it goes by different rules, because I can sit there and look at that manga and go, this was so good. Why did you crap on the anime? So I think that's the biggest negative I have for it.
A lot of reason is because a manga will become very popular. They'll make an anime, and animes get made faster than mangas. An anime episode can cover multiple chapters of a manga. Full Metal Alchemist is one of the best examples ever. Super popular manga. They made an anime. The anime went faster than the manga, and the writers decided, we'll just end this our way. Mm-hmm. And they like took what they had figured out from the mangas and then just ran with it. And then the manga ending of Full Metal Alchemist was so darn good, they had to go back and make another anime just to get it. And that really shows you that, and it's nothing against the anime workers, but when you originally create something, you know where the threads are leading. Whereas if you take a manga and you hand it off to someone, they don't know what these plot threads all lead to. And if you let them try to tie it together themselves, it's going to come out clumsy. It happens so many times. And then the other alternative is filler, which is, the curse of anime. I would ban all filler forever if I could. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Very few filler arcs are entertaining.
How in the world would you be able to watch Super then?
Yeah, exactly.
Dragon Ball Super is actually, I don't know what's filler and what's not, because I haven't been paying attention to the manga. The Dragon Ball Z actually doesn't do a ton of filler because they scream for a whole episode. That's why they scream so long. They're stalling for the manga. That's the whole
right. Yeah. Dragon Ball Z was that way. Yeah,
because Bleach didn't Bleach wasn't able to do that successfully. They were like, oh, well, let's stop this really important pivotal battle that will decide the fate of everybody we can find about this side character we met 3 times and why he hates chicken.
There's a battle in Bleach where they literally stop in the middle of a battle and have another storyline with the same characters who were in that battle. Like, they stopped and went and had an adventure and then came back and... Come on.
Yeah,
don't.
That's why I didn't get very far in Bleach. The filler was enough to
Why does it hurt?
It's also Naruto. Exactly. Filler is Naruto's curse too. You literally need to find a website that tell you what episodes, and it's already still too long because the manga is so long. But you have to figure out how to beat out that filler. Yeah, now it's done. I started watching it 10 years ago. Whatever.
So, how much did you cry?
Minimal. Hinata was so beautiful in her dress, though, guys.
Aww.
You know, I saw that. I don't have a clue who she is, but I wondered if she was blind. And then I saw that the rest of her family had the same eyes, and I thought, are they all blind? Like the way they drew her eyes compared to Naruto's eyes?
Literally the opposite.
I thought it was Naruto.
He's blind, and they're not?
No. Is it Naruto or Naruto?
She's literally the opposite of blind. She can see everywhere.
It's Naruto. Oh, she can see everything at once?
Some people say Naruto, I think.
Oh, really?
Well, then
I don't know
wrong.
It's Naruto.
Oh, God, we're into a Naruto tangent. Look, Hinata has super eyes that can see almost forever.
And does her whole family have that? Because they all had that.
Yes. And there's a huge story reason why the magic eyes of Naruto are very big into the lore of the world. They come from the god that created their world.
Okay, I shouldn't scoff at it. I don't know anything about it. I'm sure it's fantastic and wonderful.
So they're like the magic god eyes of that other anime.
That's where they stole it. They stole it. The idea. They went forward in time and stole it.
Oh my God! Goku went Super Saiyan Blue.
People are.
Let's move on. My editing finger is getting tired.
they are. What is it? Theorizing that Goku will go. What is it? Super Saiyan X.
Oh God.
Look,
just so they can write SSJX.
he's hiding something because he's very confident that his universe is not going to be destroyed in this tournament, and I think there's a transformation coming. I do.
Yep.
He's got a Super Saiyan gun.
He's got. I think he's got a new transformation coming.
Probably.
Krillin's coming back. 17, 18 are coming back.
Really?
Master Roshi entered the tournament.
Oh, come on.
So good.
So now that's another example of like Dragon Ball manga, right? Mm. So why do you love it so much? Like what's so great about it? How did they handle, like, with the filler and everything, it still kept you coming back? You're still a loyal fan of Dragon Ball Z.
I didn't know better. And now it's part of my childhood.
The nostalgia.
The
curse.
It's this nostalgia curse, I think.
Yeah,
okay.
And plus I've spent so much time with Goku, like I might as well pay attention to the end.
Okay, loyalty.
You think this is the end?
No, this is just the beginning.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know if Dragon Ball Z would hook me at this point. Like One Piece and Fairy Tail and stuff, which I've seen, and I'm like, oh, this is good. Oh, look how big that is. Yeah, never mind. But I started Dragon Ball Z having no idea what the size, and then I went too far, and now I've gone too far.
You've crossed the event horizon.
It broke your heart, but you still can't. You're like an abuse victim. It broke your heart, but you still can't let go.
So it's Stockholm syndrome.
That's awful.
So when it comes to video games or any other source like that, Iria, the Zerem animation, comes to mind because that was first a movie and then turned into an anime. It almost makes me wonder if it's an issue of just, did they get lucky? Because you have ones that come from manga where they do a good job. Sometimes they deviate, but it's an improvement from the manga. You have ones that are original stories where they do a good job. So is it more often you think that they would actually be lucky when it's not from another source?
I was actually doing, so I love the idea of an original story doing well. And because of that, I spent a lot of time actually going through different animes that I really, really love. Could not find one that's an original story. They're all mangas or light novels. And I think the biggest reason is because of that issue that I appreciate well-developed stories with really interesting and developed characters. And if you can just kind of snag that and throw it on film, that's what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right.
Probably something to be said about having, like, if you get the original writer of the manga to help you create the anime instead of just hiring someone to translate it, there's probably a quality increase and stuff like that. Like you see in like Hollywood movies where it's like, oh yeah, we should bring the writer of this book that we're turning into a movie in to help with the script because they understand the characters better than we ever will. Ask J.R.R. Tolkien to help us with this Harry Potter movie because she understands Harry Potter than this director will.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have one caveat. I just thought about it and looked it up right now. Princess Mononoke, one of my favorite anime movies of all time. That was an original concept. That was not inspired by a novel of any kind.
That's true for all Miyazaki films, right? He makes all his.
Oh, that's true.
Well, yeah, and many of them are really good.
He did The Borrowers,
but I mean, like Elfen Lied. That was a light novel. I mean,
was it?
Or wait, I don't know. What was it?
I don't know. I haven't looked it up, but I know that I loved that anime.
Yep. It was a manga series.
And Troy, who was the writer of the Harry Potter series?
Oh no, you're right.
J.R.R. Tolkien. I think he's dead though, by the way.
That was so great.
Now I can't even think of the right name.
I don't know who it is. It's a lady. That's all I know.
Jason, who wrote Harry Potter? What is wrong with us?
I'm not I never got into Harry Potter, so I don't.
This is a minisode. You know what you were getting when you continued to listen.
Harry Potter.
J.K. Rowling's. That's
J.K. Rowling. How dare her name be similar?
How dare you forget it?
I have a daughter who's going to be very mad at me.
Your nerd card has been revoked.
That's right.
Can someone explain to me what a light novel is? I think I have an idea, but I'd like confirmation.
I mean, I can look up an actual definition here.
So my understanding is it's like a young adult novel here, like Hardy Boys or Nancy Drew would be our equivalent of a light novel.
Whereas manga would be
it's a style. It's a style of Japanese novel primarily. But not exclusively targeting high school and middle school students. Light novel is a term formed from words in the English language. Interesting.
So yeah, it's our equivalency of our young adult novels.
Which is interesting because, like, if you look at the ones that I've noted here, ReZero, Alderaan in the Sky, and Occultic 9 were all light novels first, and then they became mangas. Whereas Drifters and many of these others, Dimension W, Ajin, those were all just straight to manga. They didn't go through a light novel period, or at least not from the information I found. So that seems odd to me because it's almost inconsistent. Like, I would think that Drifters, Dimension W, and Ajin, Demi-Human, would be a bit more mature than, say, Mob Psycho, or...
No, Mob Psycho's original, right?
No,
it's a manga.
Mob Psycho was a web comic, which then turned into a manga. Yeah, manga.
It feels very web comic-y, like just watching anime.
Yeah, I found that a lot of these anime were surprisingly old. Like their original writing as manga or other sources was far, far before the anime, and I wasn't aware of that.
Guys, One Punch Man season 2.
Oh, that's gonna be great,
dude. Seriously.
ReZero season 2 someday.
Well, I'm not sure if you guys have anything more to say on it, but that's really all I had.
I do have one interesting point about the data. Which one of the three of us do you think has the highest average positive score for all? You think it's you?
I do think it's me.
You have the lowest.
Wait, I had the lowest average?
Yes.
I'm the meanest?
You're the meanest. So which of the two of us, has the highest?
I don't know. My whole world's upside down right now.
I'm going to take a shot in the dark. I think it's me has the highest.
You are correct. How crazy was that? I was going nuts when I saw this. I was like, Jason is like the nicest to the anime? I always got the sense that you were like the meanest to the anime. But you're the nicest. I mean, Kisniver is the only one that brings you down. You have no twos.
Interesting. So
Kisniver is your only one.
I either mostly or really like an anime, or just hate it. Okay.
Yep. Troy is the strongest in the threes. He's just like, I like everything. Everything's good. It's all good. Every now and then something peaks. Every now and then something's crap. But
That sounds like
I'm
me.
kind of right there in the middle. And I'm like, nothing is in the middle. It's either awesome or it's absolute garbage. I've got 3 twos. It's just blew my mind. And there's only one show that all 3 of us gave 5s. And that was ReZero. Yep.
Part 2.
Part 2 of ReZero. You ruined that.
Well, part 2 was better.
That's why you get the lowest negative score.
Okay,
How dare you?
I think we're gonna call it there. I think we've had a dozen tangents. I don't even know what I'm gonna name this episode. We talked about random stuff more than we talked about our topic.
Minisode for minisode's sake.
Just call it random.
Hey, perfect.
If you are going to join us next week for our regular episode, we are watching Youjo Senki, or Saga of Tanya the Evil, aka Jeremy's wife.
Yeah. She's loving this.
But we would love to hear your thoughts in it. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this, since our thoughts seem to go everywhere. And you can comment, send us any comment, you'll fit right in. You can reach us on Twitter at Baka Podcast. Our email is theanimebakaclub@gmail.com, or leave a comment wherever you found this podcast, and we will try to get back to you. That will be it for us. I think that's a service for everyone.
Good enough.
All right, everybody, say goodbye.
Thanks for listening.
See you next time.
Sayonara.